What's going on, guys? County Gains back here again with some more reactions. So today we got Piers Morgan reacts to Sam Smith Satanic Grammy performance. Now, I reacted to Sam Smith's video, We're Not Here to Make Friends, and that got a bunch of views. It got like 5,000 views, I think, or 4,000 views, so I appreciate the love and support in that video. Got a bunch of dislikes, got a lot of people kind of talking about it. A lot of people took it the wrong way. I wasn't trying to make fun of anyone's sexual orientation or anything like that, guys, so a lot of people took that video the wrong way. I actually enjoyed the video. I thought it was quite funny. Obviously triggered Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, Piers Morgan, all the kind of conservative people, so anything to trigger people I think is kind of funny. You know, definitely the left and right, you know, I don't align with any of those. I'm politically apolitical, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely a independent voter. So yeah, completely funny. You know, I definitely think that you know, one of the comments that was left in the video was actually quite true. Like, if it was women doing this, then nobody would care, but I think they would still care because Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B actually get a lot of hate, so you know, because of their over sexualization of their videos. But that one was obviously crazy as well. But I want to hear what Piers Morgan has to say about this, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, sign up to my Patreon for more exclusive blocked videos, crazy videos over on Patreon, and let's get it.
It's hard to keep up with Sam Smith's identities, but last night's Grammys, they, as Smith now prefers to be called, identified as Satan. The performance riled many viewers, especially amongst the American Christian fraternity, which there are 210 million in America. Senator Ted Cruz said it was evil. Well, one of the scariest moments for me wasn't Sam Smith as the devil. It came with Madonna's general appearance. She seemed not to have got the memo that Halloween...
She looks like, and I don't want to be hating on people, guys, but she would have looked fine if she just didn't have all the, you know, plastic surgery done, but she looks a bit like Jigsaw out of Saw. I don't know why they, you know, made her look like this, guys. You know, she could easily be a lot better looking if she just left herself naturally, you know.
In October. But are they, Sam Smith, pushing artistic boundaries or just pushing the limits of good taste? Shocking for the sake of it, outraging because why not? It sells records. Well, joining me now to debate all this, it's Madston Rowan, who performs as Tripping Jupiter, and the YouTuber and...
Dude, this guy looks like The Crow or something. Dude, bro, man, let's get it, man. Talk about sparking a debate. This guy or that, they or them, they look like The Crow, guys. They look like Big Bird looking ass. Alright, guys, so they're gonna debate this. You know, in all seriousness, guys, I have no real quarrel with, like, Sam Smith. If he wants to do all that crazy stuff, people pissing on him and all that kind of type thing in the video, if you guys want to go watch that video, it's got like 4,000 views. A lot of hate, a lot of love on that video as well. A lot of you know, people coming out to support me on that video. So I don't know where the hate's coming from, but definitely, you know what I mean. This is gonna be interesting, guys. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Commentator Lauren Chen. So Lauren Chen, let's start with you. I mean, it's caused outrage, this Sam Smith performance last night. He'll be quite pleased about that because quite clearly, a bit like Madonna is heroin, part of his shtick is deliberately creating outrage because it fuels interest and headlines and sells records.
No, you're absolutely right, and people have said that this is a controversial move by Sam Smith. This is not at all controversial within Hollywood, and I want to be clear that Sam Smith did this specifically to upset the American right and Christians everywhere and to virtue signal to his fellow Hollywood members and elitists that, don't worry, he's on your team, he hates all of the things that he's supposed to hate. If he actually wanted to be controversial in Hollywood, what he would do is actually come out in favor of traditional values, because we know that would never happen in a million years, or he would, heaven forbid, actually do something that's critical of maybe Islam. That would genuinely be controversy, but of course, because that would be...
I think you would die if you did that, to be honest. Because Islam mostly preaches peace, guys. You know, a lot of people don't understand, you know, Islam and stuff like that. It preaches peace. So, yeah, but don't make fun of it, guys.
Be popular among leftist elitists. He's not going to do that. This is actually, in a lot of ways, the safest thing that Sam Smith could have done.
Yeah, I mean, now, Tripping Jupiter, do I call you Tripping Jupiter or Madston? Which one would you prefer?
You could call me Madston.
Madston, thank you for being on the programme. This reminds me a bit of the Met Gala in New York when they all suddenly wore crucifixes one year. And as a Catholic, I read a column saying, you know what, you wouldn't be doing this to the Islam religion Why would you just do it to Catholicism and to Christianity? And that reminded me again exactly what Lauren said about last night. Yeah, you can dress up as Satan and prance about having a bit of devil worshipping just to deliberately outrage 63% of Americans who are Christians. But given he wouldn't do that with other religions, which are likely to lead to more serious repercussions for him, I thought...
Well, Satan kind of represents the Antichrist in a lot of different religions, guys. I think that it would represent in Christianity, Islam, Buddhism. Kind of represents all those religions. It doesn't just represent Christianity, right? Because the devil, or like, you know, the guy with horns, is kind of like image that people portray. That's like representative as the Antichrist in multiple different religions. So, yeah.
I thought it was a bit cowardly, if I'm honest.
I mean, I don't think there's anything cowardly about Sam Smith. And, you know, if Lauren's suggesting that they are doing this just for publicity as far as like their identity goes, I mean, people struggle their entire lives with identity, and the fact that they can come to a place where they feel secure enough to let it out in the public is an amazing thing and a beautiful thing and a really important thing. As far as the red glitter hat with the devil horns, and I'm sorry, Ted Cruz, if anyone looks at Sam Smith and thinks the word evil, I think that they might frighten a little too easily. As far as the Catholic Church goes, I mean, I can't think of a better, religion to criticize or to tweak, or because I mean, there's like decades and decades of child sexual abuse that got covered up. So they don't really have a right to stand out and be outraged when they
but they're also
yeah, that's true. It's like who are they to say that shit? You know, they had fucking messed up shit going on for years in Christianity, guys. Some bullshit, you know. So they're basically just trying to preach to, I don't know who they're trying to preach to, you know what I mean?
There are decades and decades of Islamic fundamentalist terrorism. And the point that Lauren was making, I think rather powerfully, was that you wouldn't get Sam Smith mocking Islam in a performance.
Yeah, but we're here
at
to
the
talk
Grammys,
about gender,
because again, I mean, you wouldn't say it's
Well, Islam terrorism, guys, is nothing to do with the religion of Islam. These are just radical people, kind of like white guys that shoot up schools. You never really see black people or Asian people shooting up schools in America. It just does not happen. It's always white kids, like 19 to 25-year-olds. That's domestic terrorism. The same way, you know, you have domestic terrorists in Afghanistan and stuff. Just America and the West, they kind of label it a different way. You know what I'm saying? They label it. And Jesse Ventura talks about this a lot, guys. You know, domestic terrorism with kids going into schools and shooting up schools and in universities, like in Michigan recently, that MCU, Michigan College University, or Michigan University State, whatever that college is. You know, that was a white guy again, guys, like shooting up the school, and it's always just white guys because, you know, for outrages, probably because they can't, you know, they can't get laid, shit like that, you know, terrible shit like that happens. But it's always white people, so why don't they ever talk about that, guys? You know, it's always like about Islam or some shit like that. They're always blaming Islam. It's like, bro, most people that fight those ISIS scumbags are Muslim themselves, guys. You know, look up all these famous people that fight the ISIS members. Like, it's all, I know Muslim people in real life, guys, and they're legends, man. I know a couple, and I love them, man. You know what I mean? They never would ever dream about doing some crazy shit. The most peaceful people I've ever met. But the way the news portrays it's kind of like the way the news portrays black people as shooting all the time and doing all these crimes and stuff like that, when actually, you know, white people do way more crime in the US and stuff like that. So yeah, I would take the news with a pinch of salt there. You know what I mean? Or anything Piers Morgan says about terrorism.
Cowardly. I'd say that is an example of kind of cowardice, because we all know he wouldn't do that. And what he did last night, I'd say I think he called what they did last night was a deliberate act of provocation to a group of people who represent nearly 2/3 of America. And I find that an interesting strategic decision. You know, this is somebody who wants to sell records in America. You know, it's a risky strategy.
Unholy is an amazing song as well. I just put that song, it's great. You know, it's a great song.
To take on that number of Christians and mock their religion in that way.
Well, I don't think anybody's religion was mocked at all. And this album by Sam Smith it's phenomenal. It's got really positive messaging to it. But like, if you're going to talk about artists pushing boundaries, this is what great artists do. You go back to David Bowie. He was attacked and vilified when he burst onto the scene. Lady Gaga, over a dozen years ago or more, coming out, same thing. You could go back to, I mean, so are you going to tell me you don't like David Bowie? You don't like Lady Gaga because people were unhappy? And the interesting thing is with these icons, go back to Katharine Hepburn, right? When
Well, I don't know who any of those people, like Lady Gaga and stuff. I've never listened to any of their music or anything like that. But he's saying that they basically push the boundaries, and I'll always protect free speech, and I'll always stand up for free speech and music, because all the music that I listen to is like the craziest shit ever. Because it's always like dudes, you know, pretending to shoot guns and stuff, and people say that's incites violence. But if that incites violence, guys, then what about the movies that we watch? What about the video games that you play? You know, they say before you're 18 years old, you see like 50,000 deaths in a video game. You know, I sure as hell did playing Call of Duty and all these different games. So what's the difference between watching an obviously fake rap video and then a friggin' movie or something else, guys? You know, it's BS, guys. And as much as I don't like Sam Smith's new song, it's okay. It's kind of catchy or whatever. You can see my reaction in that video. He's allowed to be free, you know, he's allowed to have free speech. If he wants to mock whatever, you know, just be prepared for the backlash. You know, that's all I'll say. Big Bird is spitting facts. Yo, Big Bird is spitting facts.
she was doing movies, she wore pants and people freaked out. The detractors who push against people who push gender boundaries, nobody remembers their names years later.
I think the problem, I'll come back to
Hepburn.
Lauren, but the problem I have with Sam Smith is that they can't seem to work out what they are. So we went through a period where he was identifying apparently as a straight man, then he came out as gay and everyone was applauded, and then within, I think, 18 months, he decided he wasn't a gay man anymore. He was going to be non-binary, gender fluid, and wanted to be called they. It's quite hard to keep up, Lauren Chen, not to be disrespectful to they, but it is hard to keep up with Sam Smith because every 18 months or so he seems to, like a chameleon, flip into some other new identity. So,
well, guys, in my last video, I said I was a professional NFL player, and this week, I just want to say I won the Super Bowl, so I expect the congratulations to be accordingly, so please congratulate me in the comments down below. I want to be recognized as a professional NFL player. Thank you very much, guys. Or superstar YouTuber. So thank you very much, guys. That's how I want to identify it.
And we have to respect those titles that they now want.
No, you're absolutely right, and it's interesting because I was looking back to interviews when Sam Smith first came out as gay, and he actually back then would say things along the lines of, there's more to me than my sexuality, I just want this to be normalized, this shouldn't be a whole thing, which, I mean, by today's 2023 standards, that almost makes him sound like a right-wing extremist, the idea that his sexuality shouldn't define himself. But fast forward to today, apparently he's gotten the memo that the trendy thing is to come out as some sort of trendy new gender every other day, and I just want to say, in regard to Sam Smith dressing as the devil, that's not part of your identity. Your fashion choices are not part of your identity. Sam Smith deciding to, in his music video, wear a corset doesn't mean he's non-binary. All it means is that he's desperate for attention, has absolutely no sense of fashion,
well,
and
also,
probably doesn't have good friends around him.
Right, and talking of people desperate for attention, Maston, I just want to show you Madonna's head at the Grammys. And I just wonder, is this an example, when you look at Madonna at the Grammys last night, of where plastic surgery takes you if you're not very careful?
Before we get into this, I actually don't like talking ill about people, guys, just in general. You know, I actually don't even, I know some people get a kick out of that, and some people maybe call me hypocritical, maybe I might do it the odd time, but personally, you know, when people are obviously, I don't know, like sad or whatever, and I know it's funny to poke fun at celebrities, but just looking at her here, I don't really even like making fun of her appearance. I called her Jigsaw in the beginning. You know, it's not that nice, guys. Honestly, I would never look at a person in real life and do that type of shit. It's just because on the internet, you know, it's kind of funny to say these kind of things. But honestly, guys, I don't really judge anyone what they look like. It's just like, it's not really a nice thing to do, honestly. I want to make people feel good. You know, I don't want to be putting people down type shit. You know, I'm not about that life. But Madonna, I don't know what she did, but someone has to tell her, you know what I mean? You know, chill out with all the other stuff. You know, that's all I would say. But even that's not my place to say it, right?
If you're asking me, I'm not an expert on plastic surgery,
Right,
so
right.
I prefer to go back to Lauren's comment. I just have a question for both of you.
Have we got the picture
Why-
of Madonna? Sorry, there we are, yeah. Sorry, yeah,
Right.
go on, Maston.
Well, I wish her well. She's an icon. She's done great things in music and influenced a lot of people. My question is, why are conservatives, the ultra conservatives especially, the only ones who are obsessed with what people wear, obsessed with how people identify, and obsessed
You know what,
with other
Maston?
people's
We've run out
genitals?
of time, but I can answer one question.
course you
I'm not a conservative. So if that helps you, that will help the debate.
Conservatives aren't the
Lauren,
ones passing laws
Maston,
over
great
what
to have you
people are
both. Come back again soon.
Kind of a good question at the end. Big Bird was spitting facts there. Yeah, I agree. Like, why are they so concerned about what people wear? Like, I mean, it just he obviously wore that to elicit a response, guys. But anyway, go check out my video, Piers Morgan County Gaines reacting to Sam Smith's video. I'm not here to make friends. Obviously, the name implies it all. I love you guys all. Make sure to hit up my Patreon as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.